In the last episode we made beautiful shots of the ultramares in the paradise Los Roques, Venezuela. And in this episode we are going to sail via Bonaire, where we will stay for more than a week, to Aruba. The rest of the group stayed a little bit longer in Los Roques, and we're going to dive and kite surf. But Inky Blue, Spekeend and us were leaving after a week. For the last night in Los Roques we anchored in Calle de Agua, and the next day we started very early, 4 o'clock in the morning, because we were both awake. So we said, let's just go, and then we were sure that we would arrive in the light in Bonaire.
5:30 at this speed.
So we started at 4 o'clock and it was pitch black. It was scary black. There was no light nowhere. There was no moon. There's no lights on the land. It was a very deserted area there. So that was really scary, that you have no reflection on Spekeend. When we left, you only saw the top light. It was even difficult to guess the distance where they were.
We're halfway between Calle de Agua and Aves de Barlavento. 6:15 now. It's getting light slowly. Good morning, going to set the snorkel.
We took it down again after we raised it, because the snuffer was completely turned around the spinnaker, and we wanted to release it first, because now there was not a lot of wind, so we knew we could take it down, and we didn't know how it would be closer to Bonaire. We took it down again, turned the snuffer, and then brought it up again.
We're passing Aves de Barlavento, still Venezuela. Inky Blue and Spekeend are going to stop here, but we're going straight through to Bonaire. The Coast Guard is stationed on Sotavento, and they were calling me just now. Well, I just put the VHF on and put it on double watch, and he was there immediately, so he might have been calling a bit longer already. Very polite, in good English, asked me all kind of questions about the boat and the destination and where we came from and how old we were.
No, you didn't tell them.
Yeah, I didn't think he had dating thingies in mind. He's there for us if we have a problem. We can call him, yeah.
Most of the route we had not enough wind for the red spinnaker, but luckily we went up very early, so we were not in a hurry, and we arrived way before dark in Bonaire.
Yourself with your own sound.
So approaching the mooring in Bonaire. There are supposed to be 42 moorings here. And, we were in touch with Robert Fabon of 8. He says about half of them is available still, so not a problem.
Robert and Luke were already there helping us on the mooring, so it was nice to see them again after 2 years. After the lockdown, where we decided to go back to Holland with the Lagoon 52 2 years ago, Robert and Luke with the 8 went to Aruba first for the hurricane season, and they went out of the water, and after that they went to Bonaire. Mark and I, we both really like Bonaire. After the quietness of Los Roques, or the more busy places that we visited, this is just a place in between. It's a little bit like a village, but you can have everything there. You can stock up the boat with all kinds of stuff from big supermarkets, so there's more than enough choice. There are nice restaurants, and it's not too touristic. Although every day there is a cruise ship coming in.
Rising up when the sun goes down. Into the ocean of
Spekeend and Inky Blue arrived 1 day later because they slept on the small islands in between Los Roques and Bonaire.
And they decided to go in the harbor for 2 days before they are going on the mooring.
back to serenity. Come on strong, set your spirit free. Get back to serenity.
That's the general idea, that when you see a camera, that you push the little button.
Yeah. So Spekeend just arrived. Together with Spekeend and Inky Blue, we decided to have a lunch in Sorobon, which is a beautiful lagoon with turquoise water where lots of windsurfers are playing around the whole day. But the weather was a little bit bad. There was a huge amount of rain coming down. So we had to wait a while before we could start our lunch there. The next day we decided to snorkel Klein Bonaire, small Bonaire, which is still really a nice environment because you can never anchor on Bonaire, nowhere. It's nowhere allowed to anchor on Bonaire, so the corals are basically still intact.
Cruise boat of the day, every day another one.
Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. It's not warm when he's away. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. And he's always gone too long. Wonder this time where he's gone. Wonder if he's going to stay.
So first in the direction of Curaçao, and then we'll see how far we go. We're on the mooring, we just have to release the lines.
Ready?
Huh? Yeah.
We stayed a little bit longer than expected on Bonaire because Mirelle planned a visit to the local hospital there. Unfortunately, very sad news. She has to go back for her health to Holland. They had to leave the boat behind. We are really going to miss you, Mark and Mirelle. Robert and Luca of 8 are going to take care of the boat while it's there on the mooring.
We go on the north side of Bonaire to improve the angle to Curaçao. On our way to Panama, we prepared the Jenniker. I think we are able to sail a course of about 150, and we go all the way east. Oh, west of course. Feels really weird to leave Spekeend behind. Inky's still with us. They had a little rip in their Jenniker, so they brought it inside and trying to fix it, and in the meantime they're just sailing with their Genoa, which makes a huge difference. Well, you can see them in the distance there. Halfway between Bonaire and Curaçao. We're going to pass little Curaçao. And we're still not sure whether we go to Spanish waters or further along the coast to the northwest. We wanted to go along the Colombian coast and then hop in the direction of San Blas, Panama. But the forecast for the wind in the next couple of days, especially starting from Wednesday in 6 days, not very good. They are talking about winds up to 45 knots, and well, we could, but we don't want to. If possible, we just want to anchor somewhere at night and rest, take a rest for the first couple of days, and then continue the last 3 or 4 days to San Blas, of course, in one go. So we're passing on the south coast of Curaçao, second island of the ABC Islands. Tomorrow we'll go to Aruba then, about 80 miles from here, 60 miles from the more northwestern anchorage. We're talking to the Dutch Coast Guard now. Until now they're not allowing us to stay for the night, just on anchor, even if we don't go ashore, but I'll give it another try whether or not it's possible further to the northwest. Otherwise we continue in the direction of Aruba, but then we would arrive there in the middle of the night as well, around 3 or 4 probably.
Yes, Captain. If you wanna anchor at the west of the Curaçao, you must do the customs here. And easier than.
Okay, that's a pity, because we would only like to have some sleep. If that's not possible, we just continue. It is pretty difficult to have a PCR test after 10 o'clock and then leave in the morning at 6 o'clock. I think it's pretty impossible what you propose.
It's not allowed to anchor outside Curaçao, just for a couple of hours. Must do customs clearance and a PCR test.
Okay, thank you very much. I know you can't help it, it's a pity, but we will continue. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
So we asked Curaçao for permission to anchor somewhere and just stay for the night. We were very, very tired of what happened to us in Bonaire and all the emotions. And we are only a small crew. And with the forecast ahead, we thought it might be better just to have some night stops before we make the crossing to San Blas. When you ask nicely and ask it again, that doesn't help. The harbour master is very, very unhelpful. We wanted to be somewhere in a completely deserted area. It didn't matter to us, just have a good night's sleep. And they just don't allow that. The dolphins tried to cheer us up a bit, but it was not a good day for us. Sailing in the direction of a real storm and not being allowed to stop without all kinds of impossible actions, that's really very sad.
So we're in night setup, the Soland and the entire main. So we should arrive at the anchorage on the west side of Aruba early in the morning. The wind just shifted 40 degrees at the west point of Curaçao. Just below us you can see a couple of squalls. I thought that was a reflection of the boat that was there a bit earlier, but it's that guy. Inky Blue, Greatcircle, go ahead.
Hi Mark. Just checking if you've had any change of the wind.
There was a wind shift of 40 degrees at the end of the island. Apparently the wind turns around it, around the point. So the true wind direction now is just below 90. We jibed the main and our true wind angle now is around 140.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because we're noticing the wind changing already, so yeah, I think we have to do the same. Check the main.
During the night we always have the B&G on night mode, so that there is as little light in your eyes as possible, so that you can still have a good look outside.
Arriving at the bottom of Aruba.
Arriving somewhere in the dark is always difficult. You don't know the place, you don't know the area. So we chose an anchorage which was recommended by Robert and Luke, close to Eagle Beach. And it was very easy to go in there. There were no reefs, no obstacles. We safely found a good place to anchor. So and then in Aruba, it went wrong for us as well. In the next episode we are going to show you what happened to us and to the boat, but it is not sure if we will be able to continue our trip. It might be over for us too.